Every human life, every human person, everyone that's walked this earth is looking for something. And whether you want to admit it or not, you know that there's something that's not fulfilling your life. The core of a lot of things for a lot of people, what's ultimately missing is purpose. Like, we don't know why we're living our lives. We're kind of just casually passing by, or even not even casual. For some of us, very anxiously passing by. You're living life in a way that is not the most beneficial form for you. And yes, money and all that stuff, that's all amazing and it's all necessary, and it's even a byproduct of living the life that you should be living. But for a lot of us, we have been so stuck in living the same thing every single day that we don't have a joyful life. We're just wasting every moment of our lives. And I don't know I don't know what struggle you have. I don't know what you're going through. I don't know the part of your life that you wish you could change. But I do know this. I do know that every person that I've ever spoken to, every person that I've read about, every book that I've read, everything that I've ever researched has all indicated to one thing. It is living a life that's filled with purpose. Like, everyone that has been joyful, that has lived a life that's good, has done something that has brought them purpose. Money was an awesome byproduct of these things, and it just kind of happens when you live a life completely void of fear or of things that don't actually drive you, propel you, but ultimately what made their lives so special and so unique was purpose. There's a story of Alexander the Great, and it's a pretty famous one, where he was in this battle, and as he was battling, he decided that his men were not completely invested, that they were running away, that they were afraid. So he decided that he was going to burn every boat. He took the boats that were present and lit them on fire, and his men only had one option: survive. It's either fight back or die. And I think for a lot of us, we've been taught to create all of these safety nets in the most common ways, and go to school or get this kind of job or do this kind of thing and stay in this rut, in this rat race, that we have lost any sense of fighting back. We've just become complacent and sitting in a corner and letting life happen to us and not for us. And this is why so many people are so miserable and just so empty and feel so anxious and so alone, because we keep doing the same thing. And the first step to all this is deciding what you actually want. And what I mean by that's not like what people have told you, like not what you've been told is the cookie cutter life or the routine or the thing that you should be doing or the way you should be living. I mean, like, authentically asking yourself, what do I want? Is this a life that I desire to live? And looking for people that live the life that you want to live and seeing the things that they did. And I know sometimes in some situations that's a tricky thing, right? We look at some people and we only see the outside, we only see the exterior, we only see the successes. No one ever broadcasts their failures, they only broadcast their successes. So we can't compare ourselves to a place that a person is in that we aren't. That whole saying, right? Comparison is a thief of joy, because we become so focused on where other people are that we don't realize that there was a process to get there. And what I mean by that is, what process did this person take? What did they do? What part of their lives did they struggle in? Where did they put the effort? And then emulate the things that they did to get there, not so much where they are. That's a byproduct of doing the things. But find people that you want to be like. Find people that you admire, people that have given an actual purpose. And this is really important, because sometimes we look at vanity and think that vanity is purpose, and that's not purpose. You can have every single thing in this world and still feel empty and purposeless. You can have every bit of money that could ever exist in society and still feel empty and purposeless. It's not about having things, it's about having a thing. It's about having a purpose. Find a person that's actually living a life that is purposeful and that is good and that you would want to emulate and be like. It's okay to have role models. It's okay to have people that you look at and try to create that kind of life, and then look at the struggles that they went through. And if this person is someone you could even come close to, ask about them, because one thing I know is that people who actually have done things, who actually care, they're okay with sharing their story. Two, you have to be consistent, and I think that's the hardest part of it all. And honestly, that's a hard part for me too, right? Being consistent is so difficult, because we want all these things and we want to make this thing happen and we want to make this kind of life happen and we want to live this way and we want to have these kind of people in our lives, but we are inconsistent even with ourselves. Until you become consistent with you, you cannot expect life to be consistent with you. You cannot expect things to finally flow when you've done nothing to receive or to create a place to receive it. Like, we cannot expect life to be good for us if we have not made the life we desire to live. It will only flow as far as you allow it. And I always find that so interesting and so intriguing, because we try to blame everything. We try to say, oh, I was given a disadvantage, I was put in this place, my family grew up this way, we didn't have we look for every excuse except to blame ourselves. We look for everything else to throw the blame on, except to say that I am the reason that I have not improved, because I haven't been consistent, because I haven't shown up. We get so wrapped up in trying to find everything else to take the blame off of us that we don't take it. We blame it on people. We blame it on things that have happened. We blame it on our family. We blame it on our friends. But the moment that you sit down and say, I'm the reason that my life is not the way I want it to be, the moment you sit down and realize that if you do not do the thing, the small thing, the tangible thing, then you cannot expect the big thing to happen. We are so wrapped up in trying to find excuses that we don't find solutions. We are so wrapped up in being inconsistent with ourselves that we demand that the world just fall at our feet. And to be honest, it's insane to think that. It's insane to think that everything needs to fall at your feet just because you think you deserve it. The truth is that you don't. Not a single one of us. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve all the extra things that we're getting in this world. And sadly, it's easy to see some people that are put in positions that they're literally given everything. And if you look at those people, they don't actually feel like they have a purpose in it because there was nothing that was done to acquire it. Purpose in anything is always found through the work and the effort you put into it. There's that old saying, money comes and money goes. Because if you've never actually had to earn it, you do not know the value of it. So as crazy as this may sound, your lack of having might actually be one of your greatest blessings. Assuming, of course, that you do the work and you are consistent and you put yourself in a place to receive and you give yourself something with purpose. The fact that you never had before is going to make you value so much more. Ultimately, the reason why a lot of us are wasting our lives is because we're so busy looking for validation. And this is a crazy one. It's an important one. But the reality is that we have been so fixated in being liked that we have not lived the life that we desire. We have been so fixated in what people say or see that we never do the things we need. And unfortunately, we live in a culture that has perpetuated that. We live in a world that has created this lie that if you are not doing this thing, if you're not this way, you're not loved. And you're looking so much to be loved that you think that validation is love, and it's not. People can look at you left and right and up and down and have all these things to say about you, but validation will never be love. Ultimately, we're all looking for something. There's something in this world for all of us. And for a lot of us, that's ultimately love. Even in our purpose, we're looking for love. Even in our achievements, we're looking for love. Even in the fact that we're creating all these things in this world and doing all these extra things, at the end of the day, it's to give or receive love. We're looking for it. But if you confuse validation with love, you will always look for validation and never feel the fullness of love. A lot of people are wasting their lives because they've never found something to have a purpose in, because they've been inconsistent with themselves, and because they've been so focused on validation that they haven't done the things that they love. You're going to continue to fall short of the life you desire to live if you continue to do the things that you think other people want you to do.